Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you are holding on to something that quietly drains your energy, yet you still can't release it? Maybe it's a relationship, a habit, or even a memory that keeps returning to your mind. You tell yourself it's normal, that you just need more time. But deep inside, something feels heavy. What if the real reason you feel stuck is not because you are doing too little, but because you are holding on to too much? In this episode of Learn English with Deja, you won't just improve your English listening skills. You will also learn how to understand your emotions in a deeper way. You will discover why letting go is not a loss, but a powerful step toward peace. And by the end, you may begin to see your life in a much lighter, clearer way. And if this lesson gave you something useful, I'd love it if you tapped like and subscribe to the channel. It helps you stay connected, and it also helps this little learning community grow. Every click really does make a difference. With love, let's dive in. Why do we hold on to things that hurt? We hold on because, in a strange way, what hurts us can still feel familiar. Even if something is unhealthy, it can feel safe simply because we know it. The unknown, on the other hand, feels uncertain. And uncertainty creates fear. So instead of letting go, we stay where we are, even if it slowly drains us. This is not weakness. It is human nature. Your mind is trying to protect you, even if the method is not helpful. But over time, holding on to what no longer serves you creates emotional weight. It becomes harder to think clearly, to feel motivated, or even to enjoy simple moments. When you understand this, you begin to see that letting go is not about losing something important. It is about releasing what is quietly taking your energy away from you. What can we learn from a tree in autumn? Think about a tree in autumn. It does not resist the change of seasons. It does not try to hold on to its leaves forever. Instead, it lets them fall, naturally and quietly. The tree understands something important. In order to grow again, it must first release what it no longer needs. Now imagine if the tree refused to let go. The old leaves would stay, blocking new growth, making the tree weaker over time. In many ways, we are not so different. When we hold on to past experiences, toxic connections, or draining habits, we are like that tree trying to keep old leaves. Letting go is not a failure. It is a natural process of renewal. And just like the tree, when you allow things to fall away, you create space for something new, something healthier, and something that truly supports your growth. How do you know what is draining you? Sometimes the hardest part is not letting go. It is recognizing what is actually draining you. This is where your energy compass becomes important. Your energy compass is a simple idea. It means paying attention to how you feel after certain people, situations, or habits. Do you feel lighter, calmer, and more motivated? Or do you feel tired, stressed, and emotionally heavy? Your feelings are giving you information, but many people ignore these signals. They continue habits that exhaust them or stay in situations that lower their energy. When you start listening carefully to your emotional responses, patterns begin to appear. You realize that some things give you life, while others quietly take it away. This awareness is the first step, because you cannot release what you do not clearly see. And once you see it, everything begins to change. Why does letting go sometimes feel like loss? Letting go can feel like loss because your mind connects it with absence. When something leaves your life, there is a space, and that space can feel uncomfortable at first. You may feel like something is missing, even if that thing was not good for you. This is because your brain is used to it. It expects it. So when it disappears, you feel the change strongly. But here is an important truth. Not every empty space is a negative thing. Sometimes that space is exactly what you need. It gives you room to breathe, to think, and to rebuild your energy. The discomfort you feel is temporary, but the peace that comes after can be long-lasting. When you begin to see letting go as creating space instead of losing something, your perspective shifts, and the process becomes much easier. What happens when you finally let go? When you finally let go of something that has been weighing you down, something surprising begins to happen. You feel lighter, not just emotionally, but mentally as well. Thoughts become clearer, your mood becomes more stable, and even small things begin to feel more enjoyable again. This is because your energy is no longer being drained by something that does not support you. It is like carrying a heavy bag for a long time. You don't realize how heavy it is until you finally put it down. At first, there may still be a quiet feeling of emptiness, but slowly, that space begins to fill with calmness. You start to reconnect with yourself, and this is where real change begins. Not in force, but in release. Letting go does not make you weaker. It gives you the strength to move forward without unnecessary weight. Why do we fear the emptiness after letting go? We fear emptiness because we often misunderstand it. We see it as something negative, something lonely or uncomfortable. When something leaves our life, the silence that follows can feel strange, almost like something is missing. But the truth is, that emptiness is not a problem. It is a space of possibility. It is the moment where you are no longer controlled by what used to drain you. The fear comes from not knowing what will come next. Your mind wants certainty, and when it does not have it, it creates worry. But if you stay patient, you begin to notice something important. That emptiness is peaceful. It gives you a chance to reset, to reflect, and to choose more carefully what you allow into your life next. Instead of fearing it, you can begin to trust it and even appreciate it. How can boundaries protect your energy? Boundaries are one of the most powerful ways to protect your emotional energy. They are not about pushing people away or becoming distant. They are about understanding what is acceptable for you and what is not. Without boundaries, it becomes easy for others to take more than you can give, leaving you feeling tired and overwhelmed. When you set clear limits, you are sending a message, not just to others, but to yourself as well. You are saying that your energy matters. At first, setting boundaries may feel uncomfortable. You might worry about how others will react or feel guilty for saying no. But over time, it becomes easier. You begin to feel more in control of your life. And most importantly, you stop giving your time and energy to things that do not respect your well-being. Boundaries are not barriers. They are protection. What role do your personal values play? Your personal values act like a guide in your life. They help you decide what truly matters and what does not. When you are clear about your values, it becomes much easier to recognize what you should hold on to and what you should release. For example, if you value peace, then anything that constantly creates stress or conflict may not belong in your life. If you value growth, then habits that keep you stuck may need to go. The problem is, many people live without clearly thinking about their values. They follow routines, expectations, or even other people's opinions. This can lead to confusion and emotional exhaustion. But when you take time to understand what is important to you, your decisions become clearer. Letting go is no longer random. It becomes intentional, guided by what truly supports your life. How do you let go without feeling guilty? Guilt often appears when you start choosing yourself. You may feel like you are being selfish, especially if letting go affects other people. But there is an important difference between being selfish and taking care of your well-being. Letting go of something that harms you is not wrong. It is necessary. You cannot continue giving your energy in a way that leaves you empty. Over time, this only creates more stress, frustration, and even resentment. When you understand this, guilt begins to lose its power. You realize that protecting your energy allows you to show up in a healthier way, not only for yourself, but also for others. It is not about hurting anyone. It is about being honest with what you need. And when your choices come from clarity instead of fear, you begin to feel peace instead of guilt. What if letting go is actually self-respect? Letting go can be one of the clearest forms of self-respect. It is the moment you decide that your peace matters more than your attachment. Instead of forcing yourself to stay in situations that drain you, you begin to choose what supports your well-being. This is not an easy shift, especially if you are used to tolerating discomfort or putting others first. But over time, you start to understand something important. Staying where you are not valued is a quiet form of self-neglect. Letting go, on the other hand, is an act of honesty. It is you saying, "I deserve better energy in my life." And this decision changes how you see yourself. You begin to trust your feelings more, to listen to your needs, and to protect your time. Self-respect grows in these moments, not when you hold on, but when you choose to release. How does letting go change your mindset? When you practice letting go, your mindset begins to shift in a powerful way. You stop seeing life as something you must control completely, and instead, you begin to trust the process of change. You become less attached to outcomes and more focused on your inner state. This creates a sense of calm, even in uncertain situations. Instead of asking, "What if I lose this?" you start asking, "What if something better is waiting?" This small change in thinking can make a big difference in how you experience life. You feel less pressure, less anxiety, and more openness. Letting go teaches you flexibility, the ability to move forward without fear of change. And over time, you become more confident in your ability to handle whatever comes next. Your mindset becomes lighter, more balanced, and more focused on growth instead of fear. Why is growth impossible without release? Growth requires space, and space cannot exist if everything is still being held tightly. Imagine trying to add something new into your life while your hands are already full. It becomes difficult, even overwhelming. This is why holding on to everything, especially things that no longer serve you, can block your progress. You may want change, but there is no room for it to happen. Letting go creates that room. It clears out what is no longer useful, allowing something new to enter. This could be new habits, new ideas, or even a new version of yourself. Growth is not only about adding more, it is also about removing what holds you back. And once you understand this, letting go becomes less painful. It becomes a necessary step, not something to avoid. Because without release, real growth simply cannot begin. How can you start letting go today? You can start by becoming honest with yourself, gently but clearly. Ask yourself what feels heavy in your life right now. What situations, habits, or thoughts leave you feeling drained instead of supported? You do not need to change everything at once. Letting go is often a gradual process. It can begin with small decisions, saying no when you usually say yes, taking a break from something that overwhelms you, or simply creating distance from what affects your peace. These small actions build confidence. They show you that change is possible. And as you continue, you begin to trust yourself more. The process becomes less scary and more empowering. Letting go is not a single moment. It is a practice. And each step you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to a lighter, more balanced life. What kind of life opens after letting go? After letting go, life begins to feel different in a quiet but powerful way. There is more space in your mind, more calm in your emotions, and more clarity in your decisions. You no longer feel pulled in different directions by things that drain you. Instead, you feel more centered, more present, and more in control of your energy. This does not mean life becomes perfect. Challenges will still exist, but your relationship with those challenges changes. You respond with more awareness, not just reaction. You begin to choose what enters your life more carefully, guided by your values and your energy. And slowly, you create a life that feels lighter, more peaceful, and more aligned with who you truly are. Letting go does not take something away from you. It gives you the space to finally become who you are meant to be. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the next lesson. Your support means so much. It keeps this space alive and growing. With love. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you.